Hello, Sasha here. Today we're going to talk about AMA project. Collaborating with Luis Paulo over the last 2 years on AMA project has been absolute blast. For me, what is magical and really special about the AMA project is the terroir within Brazil. We all look at the Brazil coffee, the way it's grown, is flat lands like a soccer fields, possibly in relatively low altitude, 600, 700, 800, 900 meters altitude, and these machines are machine picked in order to obviously save the production and make it accessible. One of the reasons why I decided to work with Luis Paulo back in 2011 is not only because of his amazing attitude, but also the altitude of Carmo coffee. So coffee there is grown at 1,000 meters, 1,100 meters, and there are some lots at 1,200 meters where AMA Geisha project is. And what's exciting there is that these different altitude variations, they give us an ability to unlock different flavor profiles in all of these elements. But not only that, is also that about 30 hectares of coffee is grown, of AMA Geisha is grown in a shade. We have a very similar shade like in Africa and Ethiopia. And that allows us another different playing field as well. And looking at this farm, we have some areas where we have a lot of morning sun, some areas where we have a lot of afternoon sun. And this also makes an impact on the terroir and the microclimate. So all of these variations of the altitude and the shade and less shade and morning sun, less sun, it gives us a great field to experiment and to unlock certain potentials and find what's unique about all of these microclimates, and we can hopefully bring it in a cup. So what can we expect from AMA Geisha in Brazil? So first thing, we'd love to expect this beautiful Brazil flavor profile. Sweetness, body, roundness and texture. This is the foundation. Now, being a geisha varietal, we'd love and we wanted to bring out these beautiful floral notes, also these fruity characters and more refined flavor profile. Very fruit-forward cup of coffee. Now, the way we wanted to think about these coffees as well is that just like with some of the wash geishas that we have in certain countries, we'd love to bring these jasmine notes and white florals. But with some of the different processes, possibly pink notes, red notes, yellow notes, etc. We know that geisha varietals are very diverse in a flavor profile, and when we think geisha, we're thinking flavor first and then we're thinking body second. But what we can also ideally look for in Brazil geisha is Brazil geisha. We did not want to try to mimic geisha that comes from Colombia or Honduras or Panama. It's impossible, and we should not be going there. We really wanted to celebrate next level of Brazilian coffees by celebrating Brazil terroir and what Brazil is famous for. And this is something that we always wanted to make sure that no matter what we do with the processing, how coffees are planted, how we dry the coffee, we want to make sure we have that foundation. Sweetness, body, texture, and build the flavors together with this beautiful varietal of geisha. So the reason we call this AMA project is named after the female divers in Japan. So I was very fascinated to learn that these amazing ladies and brave ladies are going and diving under the water in a crazy depths looking for the pearls. And this is exactly what Luis Paulo and myself wanted to do. We wanted to find these amazing Brazilian pearls and take these risks, and hopefully we find something exceptional. So I'm very, very proud and very excited to present to you inside of the box 5 amazing pearls that we managed together to unlock these beautiful potentials from Brazil terroir and combination of obviously geisha varietals. My favorite one is Akoya. It's a white pearl, and we call it Akoya is because it represents this geisha varietal in the best possible way. Jasmine, light citrus notes, mandarin, peach, nectarine. And the way we achieve this profile is by doing carbonic maceration process in the whole cherry for 3 days inside of the tank. We flush the tanks every single day at a relatively low temperature in order to get more sweetness. And then we pulp the coffee, dry fermented it and dried slowly under the UV rays in the parchment, making sure that parchment stays nice and intact, so it doesn't break, so we can accentuate that sweetness and these beautiful florals. I'm very excited that we managed to unlock this jasmine notes out of this coffee, and that has been one of our goals, and really hard work from absolutely everyone to get this flavor profile for you. So I hope you enjoy it. Second pearl is blush. So this one represents these lovely pink colors, returning these jasmine notes like we had in Akoya into more rose florals, hibiscus, light raspberry notes, and all these nice red light characters that we can get in the coffees. Beautiful honey textures, and the way we achieve that profile is very similar to Akoya. We've actually fermented the coffee in a whole cherry for 2 to 3 days, again very low temperatures. And then what we've done is we've actually taken the whole cherry and dried it on a patio. Now this was a very important stage because many people think that the processing and fermentation, it all makes sense what's in a tank, but drying these coffees very slowly, we spread them really thin to make sure they're not fermenting anymore, and then we slowly taken the coffees from a higher amount of beds to lower beds to slow down the drying process, in order to allow these light pink florals and the light red notes to shine through. Elysia Pearl is the third coffee we're going to be featuring, and this pearl is a yellow pearl. This one actually represents, in my opinion, the closest and the best possible way Brazilian terroir with the flavor, textures and the sweetness. Now, one of the main reasons I came back to and I started working with Luis Paulos in 2011 are these beautiful yellow flavors that I fell in love with yellow bourbons. These nice nectarine notes and apricots and peaches. We tried to highlight this amazing terroir, but of course together with the geisha profile to elevate the profile even more. So this coffee is all about Yellowstone fruits. Our next pearl, we call it Ruby. Qualities of cherries, strawberries, raspberry notes, a lot of beautiful red colors, bit of hibiscus, it's all red, with some of the Yellowstone fruits as well. Now to achieve this profile has not been easy, because normally when we ferment coffee longer, we tend to get these bigger, deeper fruits, but we lose the clarity of the coffee, we lose the refinement of the varietal, and we also lose the terroir. So we wanted to push this fermentation as long as we possibly could, so we processed it in a whole cherry in order to get these beautiful red fruits as a carbonic maceration process. But we closed the tank and we flushed the coffee with the different gases this time. We found that nitrogen gas allows the clarity of the coffee, and it also slows down the fermentation process, meaning we can ferment the coffee for longer but maintaining the integrity of what coffee is. Now, another secret or the special recipe we've done here is that after we finish fermenting, we place the coffees on a patio under the sun, making sure that it sits on a concrete patios for several days in order to completely stop the fermentation, because when we dry coffee a little bit faster, fermentation will stop. After 2 days, we've collected the coffee, we put them on raised beds, continue drying very slowly to develop these beautiful red fruits and the sweetness of the coffee. So this process has been one of the most complex processes for us, because we wanted to make sure that you can enjoy these amazing red fruits, Brazil sweet terroir, geisha varietal, without having much of the process influence. So I'm very proud of the work that the team has done on a farm level, and really proud of our work with the Honor team in order to develop this coffee to absolute perfection so you can enjoy it at home. Last but not least, Lilac Pearl. Now this pearl represents this amazing muscatel grapes, really sweet coffee, these beautiful blueberries, boysenberries, mulberries, a lot of different berry notes with. Underneath you'll also be able to taste, especially when coffee cools down, this lovely mangoes and pineapple notes. Now this pearl has been the crowd favorite. Many coffee professionals in the Carmo estate, with us in the Project Origin and Honor Coffee, they've rated this coffee high. So this is my second most favorite coffee. But this coffee is actually what made so many people excited and gave us the confidence that we can get, hey, wow, we can actually develop some amazing new flavors out of the coffee that we have not ever tasted from Brazil before. Now the magic question is, how did we process this coffee? So this coffee fermentation style is two different fermentation styles. So we've done whole cherry carbonic maceration with one batch, and also whole cherry carbonic maceration with another batch. We processed them with the two different gases, completely separately, and then we blended the coffees together and we dried them together as well. We dried this coffee on the patio for several days to make sure that we can immediately stop the fermentation, emphasizing that clarity that you will enjoy. And then we move the coffee underneath of the blue room, what we call it. And this protects, while we're drying the coffee, from bacteria, from spreading the funguses, maintain the clarity in the cup, and allowing these beautiful purple and darker fruits to be developed, but without adding heavier flavor profiles that we would normally get within this cup. The most exciting thing about this coffee is this high flavor intensity with these beautiful purple fruits that we can expect from geisha. This amazing sweetness, almost muscatel sweetness, that we can expect from Brazil terroir. And personally, most exciting is the clarity. This coffee tastes like some of the wash process coffees. Now, Lilac really completes this beautiful set of 5 coffees, and it highly represents that changing perception of Brazil in the best possible way. I hope that you will think, wow, can Brazil coffee taste this good? And that's what we're aiming for, to change the perception of Brazil coffees, one cup at a time.